Hey, what is the reason for the season again? Who? Jesus. Oh, manger baby? Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Okay, I forgot. Thank you. So that's the reason why I'm broke? Really? Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Happy birthday, Jesus. Okay, anyway, welcome to Holy Babble, where I express my thoughts and opinions on culture and religion. Apparently, today's topic is, it's beginning to look a lot like BULLCORN. That is our topic. Christmas edition. Yay! That's the Christmas edition today. And so, I was wondering, do we look at Christmas as a separate entity from religion and Jesus, God, Jesus' birthday? And, a lot of times the holiday shows up and you just start, oh, it's Easter, let me go get a basket and grass. Oh, it's Christmas, let me go get a tree. Without stopping to think, if that's a tradition you really want to carry on, do you want to even do it at all? Or do you want to do it a different way? Just because sometimes we're so used to just doing something, we're just in that pattern of just doing it, just rolling with the flow without stopping to think, what does it mean? What is it supposed to mean? What do we want it to mean? And so, do some people really say, no, it's separate? Christmas trees, Santa Claus, that is separate from Jesus. We sprinkle a little Jesus on top, maybe, to make it a more of a religious thing. But is it really like just a fun, like a seasonal holiday? We're celebrating the winter time, and we know all the other stuff is kind of bogus, but it's fun to do for some people. So this Sunday service, the Sunday service or Christmas Mass is one of the one times of the year some people actually go to church. They got to shake off that black suit and shake off that dress. Some people are like, this is the only time you're going to catch me in a dress, Christmas time. And some of these guys, you'll only, it's the one time they come to celebrate because they feel like that's the one birthday party you got to show up for. But otherwise, other people, of course, go year round, Sunday, Wednesday night, Sunday night, whatnot. But other people, Christmas that's the thing. Or especially if you have a potluck, right? are we going to be there in that potluck? That's one time a lot of people just go to church. I heard this radio interview with a Catholic, I guess it was maybe a priestess. I don't know what you call Catholic females who preach in the church, but since it's a woman, I'm calling her a priestess. She said she basically was canceling the Mass, Christmas Mass, this Sunday because apparently last year the attendance was so low, she figured, why bother, right? And I was like, wow, I feel sorry for those people who actually do show up on a consistent basis, and they're like, gee, I walk to church, or I take the subway or whatever, take the, drive, and I come to church all the time. And because enough people didn't show up to church, you want to cancel it? We're not, because, in the Bible it says wherever two or more are gathered, you're supposed to, you can hold a service. So apparently the priest is like, honey, that ain't enough. If I don't get at least 50 or 100 people up in here, I'm not going to waste my time, because think of how rock stars and musicians do. Some musicians, like say the Rolling Stones, they're not going to play at some small venue that can only hold like 50 or 100 people. They only play at the places that the Coliseums that hold 5, 10, 30,000 people, okay? So imagine the priest is like, sorry, not enough people showing up at church, not enough tickets sold, so no church for y'all today. So I feel sorry for people who do show up and they feel like, wow, because somebody else didn't. But here's the key thing that really kind of struck me. I thought that was just, she says she basically didn't want the parishioners to choose between Santa Claus and Jesus / God, but it's Jesus' birthday, right? So I was starting to think, gee, why did you think Jesus would lose that bet if they had to choose between Santa Claus? Do you think Jesus might lose that? What a strange thing to say, especially from somebody who's coming as a leader in the church. I don't want my parishioners to choose between Jesus and Santa Claus. You think you say, screw Santa Claus, bring your butt to church, right? Jesus is more important, right? He's supposed to be the reason for the season, right? But maybe not quite so much, because after all, we forgot. What was the reason again? I forgot. Supposed to go broke, supposed to buy people some junk they don't really want, they didn't ask for? Yeah, not quite, right? So I said, first off, you would think, like I said, Jesus would come before Santa Claus. Santa Claus is not going to take his gifts back because you went to church first, before opening your gifts, right? So, opening your presents. So, second, the reason why attendance was so low last year might have a little something to do with, let me think, what could it be? Could it have been Rona? Right? All Rona's cousins, Gamma, Delta, Phi, Beta, Kappa, Sigma, Chi. I don't remember all the daggum cousins that every time you think Corona's almost gone, ding dong, who is it? another cousin of Rona showed up. We're not over yet, folks. Every time you think I can only handle so much more. Here comes another cousin. Can we spend the night? You know, and you're like, oh, honey, I only got 3 rooms. You know, and here comes Rona number 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm thinking that might have had something to do with the church people not showing up last year, because maybe they were scared. Some of them were sick. Some people had passed away. Some of them know people who had passed away, and maybe they were just trying to play it safe. You know, so anyway, it's not the people were just so into Christmas last year, and that's why they didn't come to Christmas Mass, right? That they skipped. That's not why they skipped church. Otherwise, why not skip Sunday Mass or whatever else every freaking year, right? Every Christmas, why not? We stay in. That's the one time we stay in on a Sunday. We go to maybe Mass that Saturday or Monday, but we're going to stay in that Sunday and enjoy our family, right? But sometimes I wonder if people have spelled Christmas wrong. If maybe Christmas started out as this religious thing and the manger and all of that, and then next you know, Christmas has turned into more of a, something like this. That's how I feel. I'm into the flyby plane again. This is more what Christmas turned into. It's not quite what it was. Kind of like, you could almost say, this is not your grandpa's Christmas anymore, boys and girls. It's a little different. Okay? And so, anyway, that's really what people are showing up. But gosh, you think you say, screw Santa Claus. But to not mention Rona and virus at all. To not mention it at all. Just say, oh, just because they just didn't want to show up because they love Christmas so much. That's it. Wow, what a kind of delusional thing to say. But another radio host was talking about, this is around Thanksgiving, that, he's like, hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, have a good hot meal. And hopefully, he's like, he got kind of awkward for him to be a host, Hopefully y'all had a hot meal. Well, yeah, hopefully, he got just really awkward. Like it just hit him that some people will not have a hot meal, right? He goes, well, I know some people did have a good meal, or I know I've seen God work before. I've seen him work. I'm like, he was realizing, some people didn't have a hot meal. And I said, well, you may have seen God work in some people, but you've also seen him not work, where some people didn't get a hot meal. Maybe they didn't have a hot meal the next day, the day after that, the day after that either, right? So I thought, what a strange thing. Said, well, like he was really trying to convince himself, I've seen God work though. Okay, you have. That's true. God can work and God sometimes not work. And also, if he was really worried about that, he should say, y'all, get out there and donate to food banks. Donate to charity. If you know somebody who's food insecure or somebody you think might be, go out there and see if you can help them one-on-one, or go through a Salvation Army or something where you can at least feel like that. If you feel like you have a guilty conscience about that, you want to do, then spread that message. Hey, get out there and donate to your food banks, whatever. Some people donate to big-time places, charities. Other people donate to smaller places like food banks and stuff. So why not put that out there instead of making feel like, well, gee, I realize, like you realize, yeah, some people are not going to have that. And so, well, you still wisdom, something, something positive to say. And you also have people out there who will serve a meal for Christmas. And like, we want to make sure you just had one good meal for Christmas, and you imagine the people they're serving going, well, thank you, but what about the other 364 days of the year? And the person's like, here's a box of crackers. You're like, thanks. But hey, one good meal a year is better than no good meal a year, right? So yeah, you take it, you say thank you, and you don't sass them about that one good meal for the whole rest of the year. So, anyway, but I just that kind of thought was interesting. But Jesus' birth is viewed as basically the first unofficial Christmas, where the 3 wise men bring him the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And of course, I could argue maybe they could have brought some diapers, some formula, some onesies, and all that stuff. But I'm sure that stuff they brought at that time could be traded in for goods or whatever they needed at that moment. But of course, I imagine the manger owner coming out saying, y'all been staying here a few days for free. And I see you got some gold now, some frankincense and myrrh, Hey, this manger ain't going to clean itself, I got to hire some people to keep it clean. So, if you can spare a gold bar or two, for, I can just see, the landlord, the little slumlord saying, hey, you owe me some rent on this manger, this baby Jesus and all that, right? But anyway, that's something I thought about. I think I'm going to stop my clock. Ooh, no, I'm going to go a little bit longer. Okay, so anyway, I just thought about that. So I imagine if baby Jesus was born today, what kind of gifts will we bring him? What kind of gifts will we bring baby Jesus? So can you imagine somebody, I brought you one of these little spinner toys. Look, you spin it, Jesus, like this. When he gets a little bit older, you can spin it the other way too. I don't get that. I don't get that. Then you have the push toy. You look at, you push in the dot, then you push it back. Then you push it in, then you push it back. So, Jesus like, really? This is the best I get? You know, so that's the junk, basically. Junk was this Jesus' plan? Christmas is relatively new. There's no mention of Santa Claus, reindeer, Christmas trees in the Bible, right? You don't ever hear them saying, Moses going, God, please, we got to rescue our people before Christmas, okay? Please, can you get them out of Pharaoh's hand before Christmas? You don't hear nothing about that in the Bible at all. And so, of course, there's always money to be made in marketing products at celebrating baby Jay's birth, right? Somebody said there's money to be had here. We'd say, don't you love the Lord? Well, here's a beautiful manger set for $150 and worship the Lord, right? Right here in your front yard, you know, come and get it. You know, so you can just imagine somebody saying, I'm going to make the money off of this crap, right? So to the extent where Jesus is, basically it's changed so much where Jesus is basically at the back of the 5 o'clock doorbuster line going, hey, remember me, everybody? What are y'all doing out here? Go home and be with your family. What are y'all doing at the Home Depot and all that? So that's what it's become. It's not what it used to be. So coming together as a family, fellowship, eating, you know, sharing stories. To me, that's really what it should be about. You know, it's a mini family reunion. But buying unnecessary gifts, especially for adults who can basically buy their own stuff, unless you know somebody, you know, who can't quite do that. But basically adults can buy what they want. It's the kids who don't have jobs who probably really love having free stuff, right? And it's probably it's really, to me, more for them. But I'm going to stop right there and start a new video so I don't have to edit this. Thanks for watching. Hold on.